It's very dark. Hold on a second. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, Raiders. How are you today? Speaking from the void because my webcam did not turn on. You know why it didn't turn on? Because I didn't plug it in. I was like, I got everything set up. Everything's good. Nope. Every day. Welcome to another sunny afternoon in Scuff Central. Blackvoot at twitch.tv or whatever the fuck. Hold up a second. It's Visual Wednesday. You're right, I should have Elmer Fudded that whole thing. Hold on a second. There's an Elmer Flood. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Yeah. 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 Hi-ya. 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 Yeah. I had to shave at the last minute, so I was like, woo! It should work. It should work. Wait for it. Ha! It's me! Hey, everybody. Alright, I'm officially visible. Oh, I'm small. No longer small. How do you do? And and everybody. Yeah, I tried to have my hair on one side and didn't want to be on that side, so I'm trying it on the other side now. Ha 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 ha. Ah ha ha. Ah, alright, cool. Revitalized. Turn on my shit. How is your day going so far, everybody? You working and lurking? You chilling? You enjoying yourselves? Enjoying yourselves? Your multiple selves? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go. The Black Void persists. The Black Void does not persist. The Black Void has been defeated. Careful, went up with a fucking dark applier or whatever the hell went on. I can't let that happen. Okay. We all know that everybody gets self-referential. Oh no! I moved myself over here. That's not what I want to do at all. Scuff Central. The Black Void persists, but now in worse flavor. Yeah. Ha, yeah. That's better. And now this one over here is pause. Ho ho hee hee. Oh ho 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 hee hee. I'll draw eventually, I swear. Why isn't it showing up, god damn it? Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Oh. I'm really fucking it up today, man. As Moxie said off camera. Fucking it up today, man. You know, I had it plugged in, but it was to the wrong port. Capture card. Don't play that shit. Taking the last train to Scuffville. I hope it's the last train. I hope I never see another train to Scuffville. Cancel. Deactivate. Look at all these fun frames that they're stopping on in the middle right there. It is never the last train. Shut up. Shut up. Look at that. Look at that frame. It's practically a blink, but it's with my mouth. Boop. Boop. Alright. Why the fuck? Why the shit? Let's get some music while I'm scuffing it up, you know what I mean? I'm always like, I have so much time. I'm gonna shave my face. And it take longer than I wanted it to. So I had to sharpen. I had to go up a mountain to sharpen the sword that I used to shave my face. You see, I had to fight a dragon. It was a whole thing. Don't worry about it. Okay. Let's get the rainy day playlist because it's a little overcast. Yeah, it's a little smidge overcast. I'll meet you at the stage. Your facial hair is not that mighty. No, it's a really small sword, okay? And it was a really weak dragon. That is what I had to, but it still took a lot of time, you know what I mean? It's like those bosses that are like not strong, but they have like a shit ton of health points. Wow. And you're just like, man, can we just get this over with? Where the fuck? There it is. Awesome. 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 Here we go. Chat, this is... Whoa, fuck, that's loud. This is a just chatting stream, apparently. Give me 1 second. There we go. I'm getting this popped out. Popping it and locking it. Yep. Yep. Just chat stream. That is what we do here on the Black of the Voot. Maybe I'll make a new overlay. Not right now, obviously. I was just thinking about it idly. Idly was I thinking. Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Perfect. A perfect porpoise. It's perfect. What's new with you, chat? What's new with you fine folks? That's pretty loud, looks like. Let me turn down a little smidge. Can y'all hear that? Sound good? VOD watchers, don't respond to that. I know you can't. Don't even act like you can hear it, because I know you can't. Alright, now, please, work. You turd. Boop, and then boop. Whoa! You see missing no? Hey! We are in business. Alright. I set your expectations low so I can over-deliver. That was nuts. Alright. So, without any further ado, I believe we were going to do a bonk emote to dissuade the horniness in chat. Is that what we're doing? Let's go. Alright, let's do social media. I'm not fussing with any resolution too high, so... Let's go. You really need to make one. For me, it's kind of like an honorific. You know, it's like it's a formality at most because I know how filthy most of the people in chat are at most times. Oh. There's a wholesomeness generally, but yeah, still. Oh shit, I don't need my laptop. I have a watch. Dan Omnitrix. Ben 10. Anyway, I got a stopwatch right here. I won't be able to show it to you. Yeah. How dare you? I am a saint. My mother was a saint. Alright, so let's get this motherfucker stopping and a watching. Just break your wrist and show us. Here you go. Yeah, right. Alright, so what I should do, let me just leave that there. I'm gonna make a little 1,000 by 1,000 real quick. Yeah, I think that's a good size. I've never done this before. I set them all up so they'd be good to share on social media so that if I ever finish any of them, like I started to finish the B a couple dozen times and just never did. I don't finish anything. I'm Blackboot. But yeah, let's see if I can make this happen. We're at 24 FPS because that's how I fucking roll, dude. Got everything set up. I'm not going to need any colors because this is just a rough animation. I'm starting it. You can't see it, but I'm starting it. You got to believe. All right. Here we go. I got to figure out what what expression I want. I need enough space for the hammer. Let me start my head down here. You know what I should do? You know what I should do? I should have one version that's like eyebrow waggles, and then one version that's like a bonk to the eyebrow waggles. Yeah, yeah. Let me hold on. That's a good idea. Kilroy a motherfucker right here. 2, 3. Yeah, we're going. It's usually a bat. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Hold on, hold on. I need to do like very eyebrow forward. Don't make a weird face. Don't make a weird face. Don't make a weird face. I'm not gonna succeed. Well, it's like horny hammer has a pretty good ring to it as well. Oh yeah, it is a bonk, like a little bat or like a 2x4. You know, some kind of linear stick. Like this. Yeah, like the SpongeBob suggestive face. Nah, not feeling it. Maybe I'll lean into the SpongeBob, the suggestive face. Yeah, I like that better already. It's very Yoshi's Island coded, you know. See which one of these works better. So I already spent 3 minutes trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. This is why I usually do a sketch first, but it's okay. This shouldn't take too long. I think I need to exaggerate that a little bit more. There we go. If I love hate it, I think it's a good sign. Need to pop the eyes a little bit more, which is always a good. Oh, I need to put the eyebrows uh on a different layer. This is kind of the thing I could probably do in 15 minutes if absolutely like push came to shove. So hopefully I could execute in time. All right, let me just bring it a little bit lower. Upper lip is just a little bit. I don't know if it's too much or not, but I miss it when it's gone, so I'll bring it back. This is the apex of the eyebrows. I'm gonna do a lot of squashing. I'm always squashing. What's the vegetable soup of the day? Squash. ABS, always be squashing. That is me. I think I'll stretch the neck a little bit. Very slug like. Disgusting. It actually brings me great joy to know that my uncle David Lindley, who was an exceptional world-class musician. Um, Only got the chance to see him play once when I was young, and then again when I was older, fairly recently, before the end of his life, though we didn't know it at the time. But he was also a visual artist, and he always drew himself in very like unflattering ways. And I'm like, he just like me for real. It's just very fun. Oop, grabbed it. Almost dropped it, but I didn't. It's 7 minutes, so about quarter of the way there. Like a little frog, looking like a frog. Oh, before I forget, I'm gonna move this. Cut, paste. Oops. Upturn the cowlick a little bit. By the way, that is perfectly on brand if my hair is a specific length. Like that is a non-fictional addition to Lil Bleck. It is a cowlick. I remember when I first
I remember when they first invented chocolate.
I remember when I first drew, like, tried to start drawing anime, because, like, I just saw, like, Toonami and shit. My brother and I were like, holy fuck, this is the best thing ever in the world. Right? We saw, like, Dragon Ball Z and shit. And I was like, I was in a pillow fort. I remember that distinctly. We made a little blanket fort out of the couch. And I think we had to sleep over, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it was me and my brother. And, I was drawing an anime character for to the best of my little ability, but I forgot. I was like, "What is it? It's like a chevron, right? That's what the nose shape is." But I didn't remember which direction it went, so he had like a little upturn, like fucking Pokey from. It was like anime shit, right? He had like a little one of the carrots, for like writing and stuff like that for a nose, and it was very funny. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, almost. Partial credit, I'm sure. Okay, good. Only 10 minutes later, and I have the baseline done. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this. This is ridiculous. I'm a big fan. This is art! I'm debating how much to distort the shape of the eyebrows, how much to bend them, you know what I mean? Okay, hold on a second. It's gonna be really fast. Take a look. Oh fuck! All right, here we go. Holy shit! All right, they're gonna be very absurdly animated. I want a little bit of like bounce. So I'm gonna do the in between first. This is actually one of my someone I know in person. I wouldn't necessarily. I don't think he'd call me a friend, so I don't know if I would say that we're friends because we've only met like twice. But he was a cool dude from San Francisco. His name's Wes Leslie. Very good songwriter. Um, Interesting dude. Great fashion. Used to do like ghost hotel, like haunted tours of San Francisco, and that's pretty cool. One sec. Does it work if I ping pong it? Nah. Can't cop out. But yeah, cool dude. Hope he's doing well. Okay, let's minimize that. Oh, it's still in ping pong. What have I done? There we go. There's a lot of haunted places in SF. You know, I would assume so. Never had the chance to go on one of those myself, but I'm almost positive. And if there's a hotel, like there's a lot of whatever you believe in, however skeptical you are, a lot of bad shit happens at hotels. Even the nicest ones could be refurbished ones, like historical properties that were renovated and stuff like that. Like where there's people, where there's that many people, and it's sort of like a transitory or liminal location, a liminal space, if you would. No, but like literally, like it is meant to exist. You're supposed to live there temporarily, right? You know what I mean? Like I know for a fact in my own experience, on like in my experience alone, it gets weird sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I think I need a little bit of ease. Ain't that the truth? I need a little bit of ease. Yeah, don't we all, buddy? Oh fuck, ass. We're at about 14 and a half minutes. So I want it to go down before it goes up just a smidge. I don't know what language this song is in, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I believe the band, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not going to read it right now because I can't. I believe it's Signal Call Laylee Line or some shit. I'm like, I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds good. I'm like, that's just their vibe, I guess, if you speak English. Oh, I see what's happening. Putting the cart before the horse. Need to start it slow. Slow in, slow out. Eyebrows. We're getting there. So I'm gonna do the decent thing as an animator, and I'm starting on either end of the extreme, both keyframes, right? And I'm easing from there to make sure that the center of it is nice and snappy. That's the goal. Because it's unfortunate how easy it is to over animate something, you know what I mean? And it can be funny for effect, but you got to put the effect of the piece before anything else, including your pride perhaps especially that, and including the time that you spent drawing the frame. I've said it before, but Kill Your Darlings is a very, very helpful thing for animating, which is just like, I hate it in general. But there it is. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What do you think? That was 17 minutes, even including. Let's see. Hold on. What's missing? Could I color it? No, let me do the so I'll do this as a loop, right? Okay. And I'm gonna duplicate it and I'm gonna do like a whack from there. I'm gonna do like two goes around and then a whack. That's the plan. Oh, is the problem that there's two. I kind of like the held frame though. I actually kind of miss it. I'll do it again. Let's hold this for one frame. Let's see how it looks with this. No, I don't like it with the held frame on the flop there. Fucking love this little creep. Thank you, thank you. I do my best. I think Ayane Malwarte is gonna be very happy to have this at his disposal. Just a guess. What are you? What are you? Are you the Okay. That is this one. Why is this one invisible now? There we go. Okay. About 19 minutes. I can do a whack in less. That's great. I'm just trying to see about naming all of these the same thing. Okay. Rename one. Rename. Ah, shit. It had shift on for some reason. I hate the iPads, like the way it handles capitalization and shit, like the way that it handles the iPad keyboard specifically, how it handles what's capitalized when. Like, see that 3 different times, and I came at that like 2 different ways. Super irritating. Excuse me. Oh, you didn't take kindly to me talking shit, huh? All right, cool. Here you go, asshole. All right, duplicate. 1, 2. I was like, oh, is that how you feel? Oh, it's a shame that you're using me to stream. Haha. My how the turntables. I'm gonna do 2 waggles and a whack. All right, let's do a keyframe real quick. I could do the classic over the top, like a bat right here. Hey, Puppet Pile Mitch.
What, Puppet Pile Clam?
Bonk. How many of you watched Dexter's Lab? I know Maximat did. Ah. 22. Make a good time. I think I'm gonna remove the eyebrows or change the expression a little bit to more blank. It's not gonna be legible from far away and tiny, so I'm gonna make the mouth expression a little bit more immediately identifiable. Good. Sobered up. Perfect. 24. Yeah. Let's do a little squish. ABS again. Always be squishing. Squashing and stretching. Let's make an arc first. Animators fucking love arcs. Animators only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. It's arcs. Okay. Let's do one repeating as the hammer comes down, or the whatever it is. You can see it just starting. Whoosh.
You can say.
Only at 26? Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's do this. Add this to list of songs that sound like they're from a Persona game but are not actually. I think I'm gonna have to keep that a little bit more flat, which is fine. 27 minutes. Have that nice straight progression from the eyes. Using the eyes as sort of the focal point is very, very, in my experience, very helpful. Which makes sense. It's usually what we're focusing on anyway when we're looking at a drawing. Or people's faces. Okay. 28 and a half. I'll set it up so that he bounces right back. Boink. So let's get the keyframe for 1 up here. And just do a really quick bounce back. If I end up doing a more full version of this as part of the, finished version. Like if I end up doing a more complete set of breakdowns and everything, when I come back around to this, like say if I add any more or whatever, I'll probably just like smooth out the bounce, but that's all right. All right. Yeah, that's 30 minutes. I'll hold that for a little less time. Or a little more time, actually. 30 minutes. 17 seconds. Can you see it? I don't care. There it is. Let's hold it for 6, see how it looks. No one's going to see the no. I guarantee it, especially considering how small it's going to be. What do you think, Chet? What? Oh yeah, let me turn this last one off. What? The no is gonna get lost, but it's so. I mean, like it's one of those things. That's what smear frames are all about, in my opinion. Aside from just the general health of the animation, it's just like little Easter eggs. You can put whatever in there. You know what I mean? People be like, "Oh my God, look!" Like years after the fact, they see it and they're like, "Holy shit! I had no idea that was in there." My neck looks long today. I'm into that. This is so I am in Maortai. I'm doing the Black Voot Waggle and Black Boot Bonk. So this is it without the bonk, right? So this is gonna be one emote, and then and then this is gonna be like a response to it. I'm pretty happy with it. It's good for 30 minutes. I'm okay with that. I'm surprised that I managed to do it actually because it took me so fucking long to figure out what I was doing. Oh, speaking of figuring out what we're doing, you guys will be privy to a wonderful installment of March of Robots. I'm gonna do this shit live. Yo, I never announced my stream to the general public. I just realized that. Oh, you're great. Thank you, Jack. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I was like, oh, I think maybe I just don't have enough coffee in my system, so maybe I'll have a little bit of this wonderful mocha cake that Moxie made for her mother. I helped. Mm. Let me see it. Looks like a coffee buttercream. This rich chocolate cake. Be still my heart, dude. It won't because it's very caffeinated. And that's how I like it. I've not had enough of my regular coffee either. So by these powers combined, I did have some breakfast burritos though. I did make those. They're pretty small tortillas, so it's kind of cute. Tiny little burritos. Not a chimichanga though because they weren't fried. That'd be pretty cool. All right. So, prompt for today, my friends, is perfect. This is day 4, which means I'm a day behind, but that's on brand. So, perfect. The perfect robot. So I was kind of thinking about a couple of ideas for that, but at this point, I think probably the most accurate one would be and most relevant to my current streams. You know, the every Monday is gonna be Mega Monday for this month, right? I was thinking, what's more perfect of a robot than like one that is so human it essentially ushers in a new era, a new species of robots. So I was thinking my good boy X would be a great candidate for the perfect robot. My other choice was like one of those old like B movie what you call it, Lost in Space kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's what it's called, right? With like the cute like when they had those big dumb, oh, the same robot that was used in that episode of Columbo. Oh, congenital pheasant. You could get some fucking congenital diseases. Prick. Anyway. I'm gonna look up the prompt just to make 100% sure. But yeah, my second thought was like one of those, one of those cute fucking trash can robots with like the beeps and boops and whatnot, because those are kind of like, in my opinion, one of the best examples of robots. TV head robots are perfect. Yeah, TV head robots are. I mean, just ask Moxiemoth about that. You're saying I'm perfect, ha ha ha. But yeah, I would say probably I'm gonna do X. And if people don't realize that it's my special interest, by the end of March they are struggling in some capacity. All right. Yeah, perfect and park. My goal is to do 2, but considering the level of scuff and time wasted at the beginning of the stream, we'll see. So yeah, perfect robot. But yeah, the little guys, they're like Danger Will Robinson. They're like got the little claws and shit. Everything had claws. Like, look how cute. Look how cute they are. They got like filament light bulbs on their heads and shit. Got like a bunch of weird like dials and shit. Look like suspenders. I don't know. I love them. Like that's a friend right there. It's a robot. That's a robot ass robot. Couldn't even move this well. It's all right. Yeah, that is like a perfect robot design. But yeah, what I'm gonna do is let's see if I can get like get some references going over here. All right. Forget what it's called. The one that he was born in is different, but they're all called capsules. So, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot there were snap kits that showed up in the little, or like action figures that showed up in the capsules. It's so adorable. All right. I remember what it fucking looks like. Who cares? Let me get some perspective lines going here. I love perspective lines. I mean, that should be no surprise to anybody at this point. I'm gonna design my own fucking robo coffin. Who gives a shit? This has been really cathartic for me. The participating in March of Robots, because it was like the thing that I drew more than anything when I was a kid is robots and mecha and stuff like that. It was like captivating to me, and I love just like adding detail by detail, just making the little robot look cool. And I just kind of like fell off the bandwagon or burned out on them or something. They didn't see my art style. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but either way, I kind of like the capacity with which I drew robots was minimal. You know what I mean? So it's a nice kind of return to form. Very nostalgic, very cathartic. There's a hair that's like hell bent on getting in my mouth while I'm trying to drink my coffee and shit. It's like, dude, get out of here, man. Composition, man. Make all your decisions all at once. That's my one of my biggest Achilles heels is making decisions quickly in art. Making decisions in general, tough. Making decisions quickly is really, really rough. And sometimes it can be like very stressful working on a project, right? If you're working on multiple projects at once, sometimes you got deadlines. I think they were like this. Have him kind of like door open. Or maybe I'll have it like hydraulically opening up, yeah? And you get a little bit looser. Have one of these little pistons. Have like a little gasket situation. You know, put a little dip here so you can get his little leggy out. Although he won't be getting it out right now. It's just maybe designed like that, you know? He would not fit, even with that forced perspective, he would not fit there. I like the distort function for if you're doing like a very uh, zany, exaggerated perspective. Only in the sketch layer, though. Um, just be, especially in Procreate, it does not take kindly to messing around with uh, like skewing or rotating or anything like that. It pixelates the shit out of it for some reason. I'm like, why you do this to me? Moximoth knows a thing or two about that shit. We talk about it often. By talk about it, I mean just our clenching our teeth and cursing the heavens for Procreate being so silly sometimes. It's so annoying. You're like, oh great, this is perfect. If only I could rotate a little bit to the side, pixelates the shit. This is not Illustrator. But I'm glad that it isn't because it's not. I don't enjoy making art like that. That's the entirety of how VTubers work is those sorts of deformations. Yeah. All right. Kind of reference pulled up again. I always thought it was kind of interesting that like the decision to give X. He has these little like on his little pecs, right? He's got little torso, right? He's got little this thing right here, right? And his little soft robot tummy, right? It's very cute. And then you got the little thing right here, right? He's got these little things here that wrap around. And this shit right here, like this is like this is my palette, of course, but like it's a very bright cyan generally. And then like this is like kind of like a you know, like a sky blue situation, right? And that's pretty much his color palette across the board with little red accents here and there. You know, like his ears and shit have like little red on them and stuff like that. But like for some reason, this right here is like a periwinkle situation. And I've never quite known why. And the real reason is probably because Keiji Inafune just throws every Crayola color at a design until it suits his fancy. And you know, I can respect that to a certain extent. I feel like listening to you right now, John Mayer. You pingus. All right. Vector-based art is lovely, but the mechanical nature of it robs the life out of the piece. So often, if not every time. I completely agree. It's so meticulous. You know what I mean? It's not. It ends up feeling very inorganic. Yeah. But yeah, he's got little periwinkle pecs, periwinkle titties. I don't quite understand it. And it's something that's perplexed me for many years. I don't understand it really. Could do like this, that could work. I mean like again, I fucking love Mega Man X so much. As would make sense from the fact that I'm going to be playing it, you know, every Monday, probably until I've beaten all of them, including the bad ones. But like, I don't know. So like, I guess it worked, but it is just kind of an odd choice, don't you know? Why does it perplex you? That dude designed Sigma. Yeah, but like, okay, Zero, original Zero, right? You know, like just a little bit of a, you know, there's a lot going on, right? Simplicity is not Inafune's strong suit. Even though like the sort of nostalgic simplicity of characters like Mega Man uh, are what made him famous, basically. But like, damn, like I don't know, like Zero is very like there's a lot of colors happening, including little green crystal tits. He's got them crystal tits. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. Thinks they're hilarious. I know I do. I think they're hilarious. Just me rendering little soft robot bellies for the rest of the stream. Let's go. But yeah, I do not love the crystal tits about man. I've always thought they were. I've literally always thought they were weird. I'm like, why? Design's so cool, and he's got like really big old crystal nip nops. Everybody thinks it's weird. Literally, like it's just a known thing. But it's also such like an important part of like what people recognize for the design. So like I don't know. Just establishing a color palette. I hear a cat alarm happening right now. Yeah, but they don't look like crystals or tits particularly, you know? Maybe look at you expectantly. Alright, I'll be right back, chat. I gotta get my little angel kitty some tasty num nums. You want some food? Meave. Oh, she's slow blinking at me. What an angel. Alright, I will put my BRB screen up and I will be right back. Howdy, folks. Welcome back, me. Thanks. Hope you guys got some kind of snack if you needed it. A little water, a little sipperoo of the sky juice. You know what I mean? Thank you, thank you. Good to be back. Good to be back. All right, let's see. Little soft man. All right, let's see. Robabs. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna add too much shading to it. Let's see. Let's do. I think I'll do a darker outline for this. I'll keep it nice and loose, so I should be able to do it in 2 hours. What's the next one after perfect? Perfect and then park, that's right. I'm probably gonna do I have an idea of what I want to do with that one. I will actually get rid of that because it no longer is relevant. I have a great time redesigning Zero. I'm always like wishy like I'm like super wishy-washy or inconsistent about redesigning X. I don't know why. I guess Zero is just like so much more my type of design, just ostentatious as absolute fuck. Big, flashy, dramatic, like design elements. And X is a lot more understated by design because theoretically he's supposed to be, you know, a neutral, you like X without his armor is designed to be incomplete. That's like the whole point. And then as you get the armor, you become more complete. Which again, I mentioned it on the stream. It makes a lot more sense if you were to dramatize X, Mega Man X as a series. If you were to make an adaptation about it, it would only make sense to have one piece of armor. Not like one piece, but like one set of armor. Maybe like one set of armor and like the ultimate armor, right? Those are like the two things that I could imagine being sensible. Because why would like the whole speech he's like if you have to fight, right? Like here's the power to do it, but I wanted to make it really difficult so that it didn't fall into the wrong hands, yada yada. It's in separate capsules, blah blah. Why would he make like 1,000 of them, right? He seems to have made about 1,000,000. Like he's like, oh yeah, there's another fucking. Here you go. Here's some ammo. Who knows? I was looking at a lot of ninja films, so I made you a ninja armor for some reason. It's fine. It's like it was just formulaic after a certain point, and I love it too. That's the problem. It's like I love all the different armors. Everybody loves it. That's why Mega Man X Dive worked. Stupid fucking Mega Man X Dive. No, he needs to have a little bit of a kinder visor form. But yeah, like that being said, right, like the design should feel like it needs to put a shirt on. You know what I mean? Like there's a component or two missing, or like there's an aspect of vulnerability, or like an aspect of perceived like nudity. Not to say that he should have a big swinging robo dick flapping in the breeze as he's dashing along the highway. That's up to you, gamers. No, but like you know what I mean? Like design wise, I would think, right, for designing X, right, you'd want something that reads as neutral, something to build upon. You know what I mean? Something structural, like something that stands well on its own, but needs a little zhuzh, and it's very difficult to balance. I'm just gonna do it, man. Let's do composition first, and let's get the perspective back, but put it in a different spot. I need my Mega Man to have that Big Daddy Dunker. Thank you very much. Like I said, Dr. Thomas Light, in pursuit of the advancement of mankind, to create a race in his own image, you know, playing God, in literally handcrafting a soul using the power of science alone, right? I don't know if he'd put a dongle dingle dangle on Mega Man X, but Wily, absolutely. Zero is equipped with a cybernetic hog, and I will not accept any questions or comments on that regard. You know for a fact he equipped the man with an extra buster, you know what I'm saying? A little, you know what I mean? There's no way. There's no way. You know what I mean? That's just my 2 cents. I refuse to believe it, you know, like it just wouldn't make sense knowing everything we know about Dr. Wily. Wily needed to make sure his bots had a leg up on Light's bots. A third leg. Oh god. It's just shaped the same as their other legs. It's got a joint. Yeah, now the world is mine. Right, exactly. Oh, out of context. This looks so innocuous on its own merit. If you just saw a still, you would never know. Half surprised the Automod flagged that. Me too. I really wonder what the specific phrases, you know, the depths of all of the things that are modded consist of. The difficulty I have with doing a take on, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, when I'm redesigning something like Mega Man X, something that's near and dear to me, it is not to replace what is already there. You know what I mean? That's the way that I show love as a character designer, as an artist, is to spin the things that have given me so much joy over the years into my own aesthetic language. And so I feel like some people, fools perhaps, might view this kind of thing as like a slight, like, this is different than what I remember. Different, bad. But really, it's like, you know, like Toru Nakayama, as much as I love the art style for Mega Man Zero, it's very polarizing because it's so different from Inafune's design aesthetic, which was so impactful for so many people growing up. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. Specifically, that phrase means someone was going to the nth degree. Yes, I agree about the Automod stuff, Kenj. And Maximat, the rules, if you don't like it, you're wrong. Like the Regigigas guy, you're wrong. Hit your head on a brick till you're right. I actually wonder how he feels about. I'm sure he loves Regigigas, but in terms of the tiers of his Reggie love, there's this motherfucker who was at like a convention, and it was like a TikTok, and somebody was going around asking people what their favorite Pokemon was, and this dude, and like it was like a couple of normal people, and they were like, oh, you know, oh yeah, Squirtle, you know, yeah, Pikachu, sure, right? And then it kept coming back to this one guy who was just like pontificating on his absolute passionate love for Reggies. And I love this fucking guy. He's so goddamn funny and he's so passionate. He's like, hey, can we swear? Yeah. If you don't fuck with Reggie's, I don't fuck with you, right? He's like, I love Reggie Steele. He's got a really great ball, and he like he like closes up on him when he says it. Smooth, shiny. If you love Reggie's, love them more. And he said, so, and the dude who was interviewing people was like, "What'd you say to people who don't like Reggie's?" And he turns, he says, "You're wrong. Hit your head on a brick till you're right." And I'm like, that is the best thing I've ever heard in terms of like, we'll agree to disagree. No, hit your head on a brick till you're right. Holy shit! Oh my god, it's a fucking triumph. But yeah, Toru Nakayama's art style is so like I can understand not liking the faces to a certain extent. I find them adorable, but like I know it's like if you're not super into anime, I get that their proportions might be a little bit it could be disconcerting or weird to you. They look like adorable little cats to me, and I find that precious. Um, I just like I think however you feel about the human faces in that, um, the Maverick design, whatever they're called, it is iconic, but it's not my favorite. Yeah. Exactly, exactly. And here's something that I actually find quite interesting about the Toru Nakayama art style is that it is completely self-dependent, or I'm not sure the exact word to put it, but it only like the designs themselves only work in the context of that art style. It is built specifically to foster that art style. Like everything plays into itself. Um, for instance, like every drawing of Zero I've seen with that design out of that art style, I have not liked very much. Except the helmet's phenomenal, bar none. The helmet and the Z Saber are and like I like the boots, I like the gloves. I think the torso is contentious outside of that art style. It works perfectly when Toru Nakayama does it. But I've seen fan art. It's not to say that like fan art's always necessarily good, and in fact, I don't even think it should be necessarily good because it's where a lot of people get their start. Keep going, motherfuckers. But like, it's just like without those proportions, it wants more in the torso. Everything else looks fantastic. The ZX designs themselves, even though they are like, like a Henshin Hero version, right? So it's like technically not Zero, yada yada, whatever the fuck. I think that ZX designs themselves are pretty fucking strong. Games themselves, story is forgettable, gameplay is fun. That's my 2 cents. I'll probably play them on stream after I'm done with the Zero games. Um, but it's just like, I don't know, man. It's like I I like a lot of the things about the Inafune designs, but like the Toru Nakayama design, like the art style is infinitely better in my opinion. It is just stronger. Like it's more confident. Like the fucking enemy designs, you cannot look at Kuwagust Ankus or whatever the fuck his name. All the names are stupid. Don't worry about it. It's carrying on the proud tradition from the actual Japanese names of the Mega Man X Mavericks. Like you can't look at fucking Kuwagust Ankus or whatever his fucking name is and not just like drool if you're into character design. It is so clean. Color palettes off the fucking charts. Like shape language, flow of the design, aerodynamic quality. Like you can look at it and you can see like this motherfucker is full of action. Like you could just imagine all of the crazy. I feel like the Merit like The mark of a good design is how your brain runs away with it looking at it. And you can that could be in different contexts and different applications, but honestly, I feel like that's a really, really good indicator that you're onto something. It's like, does it animate in your head when you look at a still of it? Right? That's how dynamic design works. You like, holy shit, I can imagine all of these things, right? I've rarely seen anything that hits that hard in the dynamic quality as Toru Nakayama's artwork. Part of that's composition, part of that's shapes, part of it's lines. It's just like, it's a fucking, it's a buffet, and I will fatten myself on that shit. God, it's good. I think one thing that's going to be important for successfully doing like a Mega Man X design is, this might be a little bit of projection, but like it's like dialing into the sort of androgyny, because it's there. Everybody knows it's there. Everybody like, it's so easy to ship X and Zero because the dynamic is there, right? I think it's kind of a similar thing to like Crowley into Zero Fell, where it's like, do they have the same form of romance that we do, given the fact that they are in inherently more quote unquote perfect bodies and don't, you know, don't suffer from a lot of the afflictions that come with a physiological form driven by chemicals? Who knows? But do they love each other in some capacity? I would say absolutely. 100%. Like, you can't play through X1 through 5 at least and not feel like, if you're a coward and you say it's brotherly love, go ahead. I think that's a reasonable interpretation. They are like these two, however you like, interwoven through destiny by design. Spoilers if you don't fucking know, Wily designed Zero to be the direct opposition to X. He knew that Dr. Light was making something that would change the world, and he's like, okay, I'll make it worse. And he made Zero specifically to combat X, as I understand it. But Zero didn't even obey him, Wily. So he's like, go into a fucking tube, you idiot. And then they're both showing up at the same time. And Zero's like, I guess he's strong-willed. He's like, I'm not, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fucking Rage Against the Machine. But any way you slice it, like, X looks up to Zero, X depends on him. And being friends, if you are a coward, Black's hot take, spitting hot fire. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Answer in the comments. If you're wrong. Nah, but you know, like, that's one thing that I like about, I think I know a lot of people are like, queerbaiting or whatever the fuck, right? If there's not like a bunch of shit that's formed in like 100% like triplicates, like, yes, I'm a homosexual male and this is my life partner. Here is the deed to our house that we purchased together. It's like, if people don't see that, they're like, this is an outrage. It's like, can you let relationships be ambiguous sometimes though? Like, I get it. I don't think that being pandered to while also like, as a queer person, I don't think like things pandering to me while like not committing to something, I don't, for the sake of getting my money, right? Like, that's obviously no good. I believe that's queer baiting in and of itself, right? Like, but like, I'm also cool with shit being complicated or vague sometimes. Like, goddamn, I don't know. Yeah, man, they are boyfriends. Yes! No, those two share the same stasis tube. They spoon in the little compartment. It's sweet. I love them. I absolutely love them. But yeah, you know, it is like, however you perceive their relationship, their friendship, whatever you want to say, you can't deny that there is like an element of intense, like passionate caring on both of their parts. It's really sweet, and I love it. And if that makes me cringe, by God, I will spit in the face of God, and I will backflip into hell with my ship in hand. No, I just love it. It's something special to me. I need a who's on first routine of Zero describing his boyfriend X, but the person thinks they've broken up. That's awesome. And X, well, your ex? Well, I guess he's mine. My ex. Anyway, I need him to read as. I'm gonna dial into the sort of clean lines. I was doing like kind of like explicitly Art Deco X for a while, but I needed I needed more fun in it. You know what I mean? I realized I was like, it's not fun enough. It needs more levity. It just took itself a little bit too seriously. So I do still want to dial into the sort of clean, bold shapes and sort of mixing organic and inorganic. That's actually one of my favorite things. If you look up, okay, if you look up Art Deco sculpture, Yuri Gagarin, as in the Russian space ace, right? There is a fucking statue, and I think it's in Siberia, that is, if you want to capture my heart with shapes alone, that is how to do it. Look up Yuri Gagarin. I might even Google it later on stream. It captivates me. Where the lines begin and end being slightly ambiguous. What is man? What is spacesuit? What is machine? What is abstract, sculptural, bronze, whatever the fuck. I love it. And it inspired me so heavily that that's what kind of spun me out in a direction for like an entire facet of the design language for a graphic novel that I've been working on for years, spurred forth from that sculpture alone. Like, not to say that my shit is derivative of that, but just the language that it speaks, I wanted to interpret it. It's so beautiful and it's so wonderful, and so it really inspired me. It's so good. Look it up and react to it in chat if you have the time or the energy. It's fine if not. Big O is also a really, really strong example of like the kind of mecha design that I really, really like. It's like a simple art style that doesn't actually sacrifice any of the sauce that comes from a nice giant robot design. It's so clean, dude. It's so fucking clean. Y'all seen Big O? Y'all enjoy it? It's weird. I really like it. I mean, that does look like something you'd be into. Very cool. Yeah. I'm glad you saw it. It's so cool. Something about it, you know what I mean? You can't control what captures your passions. If I could, I'd be in a very different situation right now, I'm sure. I'm sure some people can. Or I think honestly, if you're past a certain level of neurodiv, right? It's just you got to just go with the flow and figure out how to weaponize your passions for your own success, because there's no denying them. Yeah. Oh no, it's the same general era, if I'm not mistaken. Like of or inspired by the same things, you know what I mean? That is Art Deco. That is Art Deco in my opinion. Like There's a couple of different like Erte. I don't know how you pronounce it. I probably sound like a fucking bumpkin. Who gives a shit? Erte. 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 I don't know. I think it's French. Anyway, very prolific, very impactful Art Deco situation. I saw a book. It was called Erte. That's all I know. I didn't read it. I just saw the pictures. But like, that kind of Art Deco, Metropolis, stuff like that. Yeah, it's my favorite. Usually, it's monochromatic, which is, who knows what Metropolis would have looked like if they could add colors. But like, I imagined it as being one color of metal, like bronze or brass or stuff like that. That's a lot of what you saw for Art Deco sculptures. It's all in bronze, all brass. That like one single metal looks so fucking nice. Actually, this guy that I did for March of Robots, you can see, right? Just like silhouette first, pretty much monochromatic, couple of lights for accents. That's my shit. Like, the Dwemer in Skyrim, they dialed into that shit with a more science fiction, fantasy vibe to it. But the Dwemer are very, very Art Deco inspired. Like exaggerations and almost like hyperbolizing the human form and turning it into something that is kind of abstract. H.R. Giger, I think, is like the dark side of Art Deco because it's a lot of really bold lines and bold silhouettes, but there's something really cursed about it and anatomical. It leans into the anatomical and the sort of softness of it. Yeah, it's very interesting. I love Art Deco. Kazuma Kaneko actually really, and the other Shin. I feel so fucking bad because I bet this is the story of that man's life. Because Kazuma Kaneko, everybody knows his name, and I just don't fucking know that dude's name at all. The designer for Shin Megami Tensei, that is not is not Kazuma Kaneko. Sorry, dude. Sorry. I just like, it's still undistorted. He's like, do you have any games on your phone? Zero's like, no. Stop calling me. All right. Let's get a sort of new look on that. Games? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Kazuma Kaneko has like a really good feel for it's a similar vibe in my opinion. Make it much smaller. Let's go better. All right, let's focus a little bit on the. I'm just taking the design that I had pretty recently. One of my more, I think, successful redesigns. I'm working off of that and kind of building on it with my current art style. I think if I recall correctly, there was a Paul McCartney quote where he's like, "We didn't write lyrics down because if they were good enough, you didn't have to." And I think that's a really good way to work out, like to design a character from the ground up. It's like design it to last in someone's mind, including your own. If you work methodically, right, you're like, oh yeah, I know the way to this place. And if you look back and it's the same or a little different, you can kind of tweak it. But at the end of the day, right, it's like you want to be able to remember it because you want other people to be able to do the same. What? No, that's not what I'm saying. It's important. It's good to have consistency, but also it's like design memorably. And like your character design's fucking ripped, dude. What are you talking about? Mask cannot remember shit. Well, that might just be brain. The fucking Mickey Mouse's silhouette is iconic. Mm. I want to be very sparing with lines for this version. Not only will it make it more animatable, it'll also... Head too big. It's just too big, man. Just too big. Shrink your fat head, man. Go soak it. You in bag hell right now, Kenj? Working. Yeah, I love design language. Like it's so interesting. Yeah, working on a fish bag. Oh, me too. What a coincidence. Listen here, fish bag. It does sound insulting. Made the mistake of choosing to do multiple light sources on this art. I'm working on it, and it's a struggle. Oh God, my heart goes out to you. Bigger shoulders. Posing legs is always difficult. Like, why? Ain't no woman like the one I've got. Okay, let's speed up a little bit. Sorry, I'm not talking too much. I'm focusing. Big meaty thighs. I had this idea a while back to sort of interpret, kind of flip the sort of iconic Mega Man legs, right? Because it's very indicative of the art style. Um, and it's very, very iconic, nostalgic, etc., etc. Revolutionary, I would say. The big ham legs. You know what I mean? Boom, boom, boom. It's a fucking Mega Man design. I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. It's great. I play the games. I see it. I'm happy. It's a fucking Mega Man leg. You know what it is, right? But that being said, that's the art style, right? So if you do it in a different art style, it's fun to see. It doesn't fit in everything, right? Like it's not Art Deco. So I was kind of playing with a couple things, and I was thinking about like how could I interpret that. Mega Man legs go all the way up. They really do. I was thinking, yeah, that Zone of the Enders, right? The ended points. The machines are designed to float. Shout out to Yoji Shinkawa for making like the sickest fucking robots the world has ever. I love them. I don't give a shit if their cockpit's on the cock. That's just funny. Look at the design for Anubis in Zone of the Enders and tell me that shit doesn't fuck. Like it's so good. Yoji Shinkawa is probably, in terms of mecha design and in terms of like, dynamic character design and stuff like that, it's like I go for Toru Nakayama, Mega Man Zero, and then Yoji Shinkawa for Metal Gear. His art is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. He and Ayami Kojima, she's the one who does the Castlevania, like the Castlevania art style that just drips like gothic beauty. It is so delicious to look at. I just can't gush enough about Ayami Kojima, and I feel like she is to like the fantasy and macabre what Yoji Shinkawa is to like sci-fi. There's something so like languid and organic and like and just powerful, but like also like there's a sensuality in there. This is one of them is definitely more like kind of like has a little bit more of a masculine energy, but Yoji Shinkawa does have there's a lot of femininity in his art as well, and I really love it. Like if you look at some art for Raiden, squeeze my heart for different art for Raiden, he is fucking breathtaking. He's like a glamorous, beautiful man, beautiful. Like the androgyny is there. He looks amazing, right? Like Yoji Shinkawa, Ayami Kojima, fantastic for the sensuality. Dude, dude, Yoji Shinkawa loves a good mud flap. But yeah, like you see what I mean though, like the shapes and everything. It's so cool and so powerful, and I love all the Metal Gear, like Metal Gear Ray, for example, sort of same era. Zone of the Enders, Jehuti is a great fucking design. I just love Zone of the Enders. It's great. But I thought it would be interesting to interpret the legs as kind of like hooves. Just make the legs a little bit smaller, just a little bit. And after I have actually designed this, I'll do my best to fucking Actually make some goddamn art. You know what I mean? Like a full piece. But this is important to me. It's been a long time. It's kind of like a cyclical thing because it's such an impactful part of my childhood and what I enjoy about like fun video game character designs is very informative for me. Let's make that just cleaner. Let's assume that when the leg is locked, it is firmly locked, you know what I mean? Let's thin that line a little bit harder. Bro, it was on point, literally. Leg length. I think I put a little bit of swell on the thigh. Because that's just swell. Just add a little bit of organic back. Hmm, a little clumsy. We'll figure it out. I had this idea that it would like open up into like a mechanism. I was thinking about the dash mechanic, right? And how to apply that to something other than a video game. So I was thinking about like what examples do you see in reality of people traversing a very long straight. Think about the highway level. It's a great place to start because it's the start of the entire series. Introduces you to everything except the dashing, which hasn't been, introduced to you just yet. But if it had, right? Think about after he gets a dash mechanic. Just think about just using it as a platform to visualize, right? Just imagining speed skating. That is like you see a human on sort of extended shapes for their legs, sort of just gliding as quickly as possible, right? Like because like a short burst, a little like puff of jet, right, works great in a video game. But like, is it really that much of a game changer? Like, you need to scale it up, right? If you're thinking about it, is it really that much of a game changer in the context of like reality when you're moving around like these huge spaces, these long areas, these wide areas, right? Like, when I hear a dash, right? Like, I would like to think about something a little bit more involved than just you get a little boost for a second, right? That doesn't seem like it would be worth too much fuss. So I was thinking like it'd be really interesting if they had like if they moved like speed skaters or just like roller derby, that kind of thing, right? Like skating, but you add like thrusters to the bottoms of the legs and stuff like that. I don't know. I have ideas. I think it's gonna be interesting. I like I feel like there's a lot of space for detail on legs. And a lot of the times, if I have a design that has a helmet or something like that, I repeat a motif. And that's one of the places that I do it is on the legs to sort of add a form of connectivity between the head and something lower on their body, but not all the way to the feet because that would be kind of too spread out. You know what I mean? So either the crotch, because there's a lot, crotches are a little, crotches are awkward. Quote Blackfoot. No, but like in terms of like design, in terms of stuff like that, like the bold-faced tenacity of putting the cockpit right on the groin for Yoji Shinkawa. It's a bold choice, and there's a lot of people like, ah, it's silly. It's like, fuck you. That shit's beautiful. Look how cool that mech is. Well, it's also makes sense from another point of view, where it's like, what is something that as at least as a if you got Audi parts, you're used to like protecting. It's something that you protect, right? You got a jock strap on or whatever the hell, right? It's a sensitive business. You can protect it with your leg, you can protect it with your arm, so it makes sense to have like it's a very vulnerable area. Pretty vulnerable to have a little, like that's where you are as a pilot, right? Anyway, it's my 2 cents. One time mom suggested I try roller derby. I think I would die. Jack, you would. It's a lot softer now than it used to be, apparently. But even so, you would probably get absolutely fucking destroyed, yes. You got back problems now. Your problem would be that you don't have a back anymore. If I had to guess. It's pretty clean. Clean. Nice. Clean. Fewer lines. I used to be all about adding as many lines as humanly possible. Now I'm like, less. It's good to edit. There's one time I fixed my back falling on skates. Hey, maybe it's meant to be then. Yeah, you're right. You're like, come at me, lesbians. Shatter me into bits so that it may be made whole anew. I grabbed the wall while falling. I guess twisted it in a way that just cracked my entire spine. Yeah, man. That is some shit. I used to make customer t-shirts, and my favorite customers were the roller derby ladies. They had the best skate names and were the coolest people. I can't imagine being a roller derby girl without being the coolest motherfucker I can imagine. You know what I mean? Like, custom shirts. Yeah. Yeah, derby names are great. It's amazing. It's so cool. It's so violent. It's great. Mad respect. Yeah, I don't feel like you can even like attempt doing that. Like, if you weren't cool when you started doing roller derby, by the time you were doing it for long enough, you'd just be cool. I can imagine, you know what I mean? First time I heard the song, I was actively blown away. To run till the rain comes down. Never get home if you don't strike out. I loved you like you'll never know. It's so good. And it picks back up into that weird, ominous pop. Oh, it's fucking great, dude. Like, it's just like the chords that they pick for something that is objectively pop are so weird and cool and mysterious. And, like, oh, God. It's so good. I love Prep. Dope, go, dope, bow. So I like for mecha and robots in general, I like and just for my art in general, it adds to the appeal in my opinion if the lines connect reasonably. Also, I mean, I feel like it's kind of my obsession with sequences and things making sense, but also it helps you. It's like adding a rhyme to a song lyric. It's like, oh yeah, you know where that goes because of the stuff around it contextually. So I like going for like for here, right? These lines, corners, right? So I have that in here. So just before I had it connected to this one, and it's kind of a nice, clean, reads pretty hard from a distance, but I'm not sure if it was taking up too much space or not for the sake of color blocking. So I'm trying it at the halfway point now between those two lines. And that kind of shit is so helpful for animating. If you have anchor points and little focal points and stuff like that where things collide and you know where things lean on each other and stuff like that, it's or another song metaphor, it's like having relative pitch can be more helpful for a lot of people than having perfect pitch because it's like, oh, you know how the distance between intervals, great, as opposed to being anchored in your perception of C, for example, or something like that can actually hurt you. Just listen to something, you're like, oh god, it's wrong, when it's like, yeah, but relatively it's at 440 hertz or whatever, but to you it sounds like garbage. It can hurt you. I'm just gonna do away with these altogether for now, but I might come back to it. Sometimes I use, if I have two arms, sorry, if I'm working on something like with, with limbs, right? I have two different arms to try motifs on, and I look at them independently of each other, and I choose whichever one feels better to me. I do the same thing in Minecraft builds. Let's try. That's pretty clean. Nice, clean. Is it too clean though? Just posted vibe of the week. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, cute. They look like little thigh socks. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Oh man, that's cute though. Damn. Shit. Wasn't sure about it, but now I think I love it. The way they're gonna be colored, it's not gonna necessarily look like it, but oh, it's like kind of hot. You know what I mean? Thigh socks are great. I'm leaving them. I don't give a heck. I don't give a shit. That I'm keeping. And again, dialing into the androgyny a little bit. It's great. X is infinite potential. Let's see. I wonder how I would feel about Beast Machines if I watched it again now. Because that was a sequel to Beast Wars. And I think one of the things I didn't like is the fact that they changed the characterization for Optimus Prime, who was a gorilla. Don't worry about it. What's up, Ian Malwartai? Um, but they changed the characterization for Optimus Prime for him to be like a mystic, and I was like, okay, and more like an observer than anything. Um, and the art style was wildly different. The design language was wildly different, which might not have been a bad thing. I loved Beast Wars. It was perfect 90s, early 2000s, like kitsch merchandise peddling, chunky 3D shit. It was so good. I love Waspinator. You guys know Waspinator? Shout out. But yeah, Beast Machines was like super leaning into like the organic kind of like biomachine aspect, and it was a little. I think it was very, very artsy. The designs and everything like that were like pretty, honestly, like they were like pretty intense, high skill designs. It was very interesting. But like back then, I was like, "Whoa, this is really different," and I think it kind of like caught me off guard. And I wonder if the same thing could be said for other people too. I don't know how successful it was. It was cool, but yeah, I remember being kind of taken aback by the huge paradigm shift between the design, the aesthetics of Beast Wars versus the aesthetics of Beast Machines. Um, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. It's kind of really ratcheting up one specific element of, like my particular taste in this case, right? Just the more organic looking doll like shapes. Oh, thank you, Ainimawartai. I'm trying to get a new design for X. Just practice. I love design practice. It's my favorite thing, character designer. But like I felt like it was time. I'm doing March of Robots, and the prompt this time is perfect, and I think like he's a good candidate for the perfect robot in the context of Mega Man X. So I was like, yeah, let's have some fun. I don't want to add too many lines here. Really, really keep it tight. The color scheme is also going to do a lot. As in, if I don't do too much with it, I think this design can slap. No, that shortens it too much. So I guess I'll put some flex points here. I kind of do want to. It's like a BJD with the long sculptural torso looks less flex. In this case, I could try to make it as flexible as it would be otherwise, but still retaining that sort of clean, refined look. Oh, by the way, Animortai, I would like to officially accept yours and Hal's generous offer to be conscripted into school. Just want to make it official. We'll talk more about it later. But just want to let you know, I accept. Mysterious. Ooh, yes. Let's see how it looks with just a couple of lines here. Hilarious? No? Okay. Super, super minimalistic, super clean. I'm not 100% sold yet. I think the torso needs some love. Before, I think it looked pretty good, so I'll get back there. That's how we were. Now I'll put it back. That exact proportion's okay. Same kind of window deal. A little ab window. I'm debating how much exposed mechanism to add, you know what I mean? So here's something, okay. Here's something that I'm kind of like torn about, right? I've seen a lot of Toru Nakayama fan art of X where he has one arm that always has the sort of metal, like the X Buster is implied there, or it's always in gun form, right? In the games, his sprites are symmetrical. So he shoots from one side and then he shoots from the other side and it's the same arm just swapped, right? But that's just a thing that's established in sprite art. It's like you're not going to have things the same, for for so many reasons you're not going to have the same. You're not going to reverse this, go out of your way to reverse what arm is properly there. You know what I mean? I'm trying to decide if I should give him two. I always believe, like, okay, best example I've seen of like a Mega Man faithful recreation in another context with like mechanisms involved while still retaining the base shape and silhouette is the Smash Brothers version of him. Smash Bros. 4. Yeah, exactly, Kenj. More assets to make and more load on the memory. In fact, it wasn't until like the mid 90s or early 90s, thereabout, in the 90s, right? When Capcom even attempted that in sprite art with Street Fighter 3. And Gil's design, you know Gil, he's Mr. half cold, half hot, sunburned versus drowned victim, big flowing mane of golden hair. Kind of a silly design, kind of iconic. It's hard to say. The art was so good, the animation was so good. He could have been anything and it would have looked fucking amazing, which it did. Big naked guy with a Speedo. Half of him's blue, half of him's red. But the whole point of his design was actually a flex to demonstrate that their sprite engine was powerful enough to have reversible fighting game character sprite. So his sides were consistent, and depending on what side he was on, he used either cryokinesis or pyrokinesis because his hand was a different color. So that's why his design looks like that. It's literally a technological flex, and I love that shit. It's such a piece of history in and of itself. So funny. But all of that to say, I'm kind of torn about how many X-Busters to give him. Do I make him look like a fiddler crab? Isn't it cool? But yeah, like I'm kind of torn about giving him one kind of bigger, chunkier arm that houses the Buster and one normal arm. I'm all about symmetry, so my initial thought is to give him two, right? Does that lessen the impact of it being the X-Buster? Sakurai had Mega Man with two X-Busters, or two X-Busters, stupid fucking bastard I am, with two Mega Busters, right? And when he did something that involved both of them at once, like his up smash or his down smash, they overheated for a second. I'm like, fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant, dude. So I think I'm gonna take a leaf at a homeboy Sakurai's book and work off of that as a concept. Because I just love it so much. And it allows for symmetry, which, I don't know about you guys, I would, if I'm designing a cool robot man, I want symmetry. Everybody wants symmetry on a cool robot man. Humans are inside of us, we're not symmetrical. Our faces are not fully symmetrical. We're not completely symmetrical, but it's, mechanically speaking, we got two arms that are the same length and same size by design because it makes a lot of things easier. Legs too, you know what I mean? Two eyes right down the middle. So like technically not symmetrical to like the finer degree, but in general, pretty fucking symmetrical over here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to the previous idea I had for this sort of like I guess it's almost shaped like a martini shaker. Kind of. Or like a coffin. What's so called, bro? How you doing today, by the way, Animaortai? How are the kids? How'd the wife? Did you guys enjoy our showing of Kiki? I gotta figure out a way to design these so that he looks relaxed when he's not Like it looks more natural when he's just standing there. Hold on a second. Another thing that's interesting within the context of Mega Man X, right? And the Mega Man universe in general, we have shown that matter can be transported in the form of light or something similar, right? Because at the beginning of every level, you got a little beam. He shows up, right? And in later games, such as X4, when he lands, he's in his little, his unarmored self, and then he goes like that, and all of his armor forms at once. Which, by the way, sick as fuck, absolutely sick as. It's so satisfying to look at in X4. I love them for that. Um, but if that is a capacity that exists within this world, at least for semi-organic, inorganic mechanical beings, whether they have souls or not, like what's to stop something like that from just like showing up on his body, right? Something being transmitted or forming out of light and then refining itself to be physical. I don't know, something to think about, right? Oh fuck yeah, it's the pillows. But yeah, that's a thought that I was thinking. A thought that I was thinking. A thought I thunk. Much detail on the legs. I think I'm just gonna change the color there. Leave it hollow. Maybe I'll just leave it in general. I'm probably going to be. I already started doing this, but I'm basically mass releasing VODs, multiples at a time, even on stream days whenever I can, because storage is running out, and also I feel like the longer it's been since a stream, the less likely people are to like, oh, I gotta catch that. You know what I mean? Like 9 times out of 10 people, if there's a stream that someone really wanted to see and they just missed it, they're way more likely to see it if it's released immediately thereafter. I've just been lazy this entire time, so I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that more. Just a heads up for anybody who gives a shit about VODs. Like if you're watching this on a VOD right now, hello. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, please. YouTube. Anywho. I know it's like really, really easy to take things from your childhood when everything is kind of like rose tinted in your memory and to be like, man, shit was so much better back then. But legitimately, shit was like it's hard not to think that shit was so much better back then. Like cartoons and video games and shit. Right when my generation was like growing up into like childhood, and like young adulthood, like that shit was so good, dude. Just high quality. Like the age before analytics drove everything to mediocrity. You know what I mean? Now I want consistency. I don't give a shit about quality. We had a lot of fucking trash too. It's true. It's true. And I mean, like, it's really easy to listen to a song by Whitney Houston from the 80s and be like, or like Tears for Fears, the stuff that stuck around, and be like, how can people not like 80s music? And then, like, you think about all of the shit from the 2000s that was just plaguing every radio station that you could not fucking stand. You're like, I'm gonna regurgitate post haste if I hear that song one more time. And it's like, oh, right, that's almost definitely what it was like for everything else too. It's just the good shit, cream of the crop rises to the top. you know, it is interesting. I think I'm gonna shorten. Oh, I like his long torso. Hmm. It's the good old underpants conundrum, right? There's a lot of shit early on in like from earlier media that involved underpants in some capacity. It's a superhero thing, right? It's a very simple way to just draw two lines on a buff silhouette or like a regular humanoid shape, and then it's done. It's an outfit. You know what I mean? You could paint Superman shit on. You know what I mean? It's got a little speedo. There you go. Mega Man. He's got a little speedo. He's got a little briefs. You know what I mean? So what do? Right? You could do the new whatever the fuck DC thing where they give him a belt. I think it looks a little weird. I'm not sure, right? It's like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, underwear. Who cares? The second you try to like, I know it's like, huh. It's like how you make fun of it, but then when it's gone, it feels really weird, doesn't it? That's to me. Mm. Mm-hmm. Waffy. Mm. Black coffee drink dot mp4. Glub glub, motherfucker. Pretty cute. Pretty cute. I don't know what it is exactly. When I was a kid, I think it's probably just having been really insanely into Power Rangers growing up, Megazords and all that shit. I guess there's a lot of stuff like it. Tokusatsu, Super Sentai, whatever we got watered down and sent over to us. I was super into it, you know. Um, and I think that's actually one of the reasons I've joked about it. It's not really a joke, but I've poked fun at myself before where it's like this is my gender identity, whatever the hell this is. And it's like, you know, like persona character, like the personas from Persona, like Izanagi, the devil triggers from Devil May Cry 3, stuff like that, like an entity, a humanoid thing, a humanoid fashion being with an aerodynamic head. That's like fuck yeah, dude. That's everything I want to be and more, right? Like you can see why that Yuri Gagarin or Gagarin, I'm sorry, Russia. I don't really care. Um, that statue appealed to me so much is because it blurs the line between abstract and human, right? I love an entity, right? And I think when the helmet goes on, when the mask goes on to something like that, if you remove the like everything human about it except for the shapes, like the silhouette and the way that it moves. Power Rangers, you know, like faces, you know what I mean, right? They're talking over it, right? I don't know. It really like I feel it and I like it. Like the second, like Optimus Prime, dude. Optimus Prime is square fucking head or whatever the hell, right? He's got the little thing, and he's like, I haven't watched Transformers in a very long time, so forgive me if this is dog shit. Sorry, Joe, if you're watching. Not average Joe, but our good friend Joe. She loves Transformers. But like Optimus Prime, right? He's like cool dude. He's got a fucking neat ninja mask situation, right? And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? And then there's like some shots of him where he's got like a fucking like regular man face, and that's like not uncommon in Transformers either. Like everybody has like a regular blocky human face, but something about the option of it being like this and then ending up like, he's got like the hey, how's it going? Right? And I'm like, no! No! Run it away! Yeah, he's like, hello there. I am Optimus Prime. I can't stand that shit when he has like an actual face. I don't know why. It kills me. You could have this right here. You could look like a little more like Shredder, like a ninja or like an object head or whatever the fuck, and then you choose this. No, put it back. Downgraded. Or like Mega Man, like Mega Man.exe, right? He's got like the cute everything. And like he looks really adorable with his little anime face and whatnot, right? He's like, right? Man, you gotta jack in. Oh, I don't know about that phrasing, man. I don't think that made it over here very well. And like, he looks fine. He looks pretty adorable. And then the second motherfucker puts that little like the little mask on, the sick ass like ninja thing. I'm like, yeah! It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's the sort of neurodiv like feeling slightly less human, right? Like not feeling kind of perpetually out of place. It ends up having me relate harder to things that aren't quite identifiably human. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's shit's weird. Shit's specific. Brain be doing things. Existentialism, man. We sure are existing and shit. Oh, here's what I'm gonna do. First of all, get these extra lines out of here. I don't need them. More clean. Yeah, it's harder. Hits a little harder. He's too cute. Look at him. Look at his little face. But yeah, like I used to be so vehemently against a robot with a human, like the human face. It was such a thing. It was such a thing. It was a necessity of design aesthetics as early as Super Sentai, as early as Power Rangers and stuff like that, for God's sake. So many Megazords. The Power Rangers themselves, I don't even know why it was an issue for me, given, like, I was talking about, oh, maybe it was me being into Power Rangers was one of the things. But this is what they fucking looked like. They had, like, the, whatever, like, dinosaur, whatever on their heads, right? And then they had, like, the shiny Proto Man mask things. But they had little mouths. So I don't know what the fuck my deal was. Well, I guess some of them didn't. That was like one generation of Power Rangers. Yeah, like a lot of them looked like that, kind of like motocross looking. But like, like that was a lot of the power. They had this sort of like beautiful mouth. You got a pretty mouth, but it was like made of metal, right? I think the thing that pushed it over the limit to me accepting it was Big O. Because it honestly fit the art style so well. It was just like a little weird, a little arcane, but like it was also monochromatic, like, it was mostly like 2 or 3 colors. It ended up working really well for Big O, and I think by then I had kind of grown out of my weird disdain for mouths on robots. I don't know, man. The heart wants what it wants, hates what it hates. He looks a little mischievous. He's like, serious him up a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, let's do. I think I just have to squash this in some capacity. Maybe I'll just make his head a little bigger. Usually try to avoid that. Proportions are a struggle for pretty much every artist that I've spoken with until later in their careers. Let's do there we go. Okay. I'm gonna put these here. Little rib looking things. Yeah, that reads really hard immediately as X when you put that little thingy thing there. Because it's just like, you know, he's always had them, whether we've known what they were or not. The little periwinkle titties. I don't know what's up with them. I don't want it to read too anime. I want it to feel decidedly like different. Starting with Art Deco, starting with like Super Sentai, which is not anime. That's actually one of I think one of the draws for Toru Nakayama's style is that he really, really embraced the Super Sentai aspect. You could tell he grew up with that shit. He actually did a reboot of, or not reboot, but he designed for something involving Kamen Rider, and I was like, that looks sick as fuck, dude. I don't know if it was just fan art or if he was, you know, I think after you do an official game for Capcom, I don't know if you really do fan art anymore. Hope so. That's kind of cute. Yeah, it's kind of like opens up a little bit, like a little kind of like suggestion of ribs. Make those like little armor plates. Have a little soft underbelly thing. There's so much Art Deco shit that is like, yeah, it's like we're boiling the human down to its elemental components, and it's like, but you gotta keep the abs. You know what I mean? Yes, this man has been rendered a swoosh with geometric wings, but you gotta keep the abs. And you know, can't blame him. Nice tummy. Goes a long way. It's just way too organic. It's way too organic for the rest of the shapes I established. It just looks funny as hell. Time and a place for a meat mech, you know what I mean? And it's rare. Yo, speaking of meat mech, terrible segue, wouldn't recommend. Speaking of meat mech, you notice that in every fucking JRPG specifically, from like the year like 1980. I love Automod. I love Automod because I get like a full highlight of it. No, it's great. Oh, it's so funny. If no abs, I'll wait until it is brought to light or held officially by Maximoth. That's your call, babe. It's a fine kettle of fish we'd be opening up. But also, we're adults. It's funny as hell. If no abs, then Zero has no cum gutters to fill. These... It's a shame my bonk emote is not yet fully furnished. Sex words allowed! Ah! Yeah. You damn Skippy. Boy, howdy. So funny. But yeah. It's a little too many lines there. Oh yeah, this is the most people want to talk about video game music not being like real music, quote unquote. I sobbed when I heard this song the first time. This is a David Wise. It's actually him. He's doing aquatic ambiance with a saxophonist. He's playing it on piano. And I think I probably said this on stream before, but if not, I love the idea of like somebody from Rare being like, okay, man, all right, Dave, I want you to go ahead and compose whatever comes to mind when you think a gorilla riding a swordfish. Okay, all right, I'll see you in a bit, right? And he's just like listening to this, just like openly weeping, like, the fuck, Dave? David, I said a gorilla riding a swordfish. What the fuck is this? My heart is broken into 1,000 pieces, and I'm still playing as a gorilla on a swordfish. You know what I mean? Like, I just, it's such a beautiful song, and it's so sad, and it's just like, wow, David Wise is built different, just straight up built different. I love it. That's kind of cool. I had this idea halfway through. What I got the idea from looking at his torso, and a little bit from thinking about Aegis eh, from Persona 3. A gorilla doesn't get on the back of a swordfish without feeling some kind of heartache. Think about what could have been if they were born in different circumstances, on different land or sea, perhaps. Do you think love can bloom even on the battlefield? The gorilla thinks to himself, while undulating through the water at an alarming rate, avoiding octopodes nuts, Lamau. Perched upon his fine friend, Unguard the swordfish. A lot of thoughts rush through his head, like, oh, banana. Makes you think, you know? Love can bloom, but not for otaku convention. No. He is condemned forever to collecting those anime figurines. I've seen a couple of pieces of fan art that ship otaku convention, and I'm so glad you guys made the rule of saying his full name like he was some kind of awkward pimp. It's great. But like I like a pimp named Slickback, but like yeah, as they ship him and Snake, and I fucking love it. But like it's a completely one-sided ship. Like Snake wouldn't even give him the time of day pretty much, but like Otacon knows how fucking hot he is. Very funny. I love it. I like the line of the arm leading directly into the forearm like that. You kind of got this. I generally like if you've got one sharp character having like a round shaped character, probably from habit of working on Champion Charlie. Working on it. Making infinite character sheets and writing out like the script for one episode and then putting it back on a shelf never to be seen again. That's what I mean by working on Champion Charlie. Maybe one day this is going to be a crazy moment in history. It'll be like, remember when they thought they would never did anything on it and now it's a thing. Hmm. Anyway, um I like the juxtaposition of one character having sharp shapes, one character having round shapes. So I might not want to have too many sharp shapes on my boy Mega Man here. Really great ball. Now make the joints a little bigger. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if I like it though. Maybe I'll just do what I usually do for this is actually if you do the lines right here, especially if they're fanned out, that's actually kind of accurate to what the musculature at that portion of your leg looks like. It's like before the thigh muscles. The leg is a fucking nightmare to look at, honest to God. But like, if I recall correctly, the gist of it is this, right? There's that little thing that goes around here. There's one big wad right here, and then little side muscle right there. That's kind of what study anatomy, kids. It's very important. But yeah, like right here, I need to revisit this shit. But long and the short of it is these are the muscles that control your toes, right? And there's muscles behind that. Um, but this right here, this is your business censored for terms of service, right? Um, this area right here is like it's got a bunch of little tiny rectangles, right? And that's just woven under the little more strands woven under the surface between your leg and your torso. Doesn't look exactly like that, but that's the bottom line. There's like three or four, three, and then boom, a little more, a little wrap around, and this guy, and the side muscle, and there you go. That's so with that in mind, this kind of makes sense. I do it a lot. I don't want to lean on it too hard, but yeah, anatomically, perfectly reasonable. I think I might just remove that. Little hooves. Robo hooves.
Happy or sad.
Yeah, I think that'll work all right. The lines I ended up with are kind of in support of the ones that I put for the upper half, but a little bit in opposition for the flow of the lower half. So I'm kind of torn. You can see why sometimes drawing takes me like no time at all, and sometimes it takes me like 1,000 years. It's about how much capacity I have to overthink. If there's any capacity to overthink, it's going to go poorly in terms of like getting things done quickly. But at the same time, I can animate things in 30 minutes, so like, what's the big deal over here? Really, it's really kind of amazing how different technology is now than it used to be, even like 10 years ago. Because these headphones are kind of shitty and they're $30 or whatever, right? But like, they're a hell of a lot better than $30 headphones would have been like back in the day. And like earbuds and shit like that have gotten so good for so cheap. And that's for how much of a tire fire everything is. Some things are getting more convenient, And it's just like it just doesn't help. You know what I mean? Like shit's so fucking weird and horrible right now. And like, but people are still have the audacity to say, yeah, but shit's never been easier in some ways. It's like, yeah, okay, but like, you know? Anyway, it's crazy. I think the middle line is cheap. That looks more like a plate. Like a chest plate, not like what you'd eat like a nice meal off of. I'm sick of looking at my face with this lighting, so I'm going to change it. Much better. It's like the least flattering lighting in the world. Hold on a second. That's better. Best I can. Could do this. One of these maneuvers here. No, makes you look weird. I don't hate the diamonds right there or the little triangles, but let's leave that for now. Come back to that a little later. Here's what I'm gonna do. You know it's serious when I have to like duplicate and make a new layer. That's how you know I'm really, really torn. Song is so good. Cool, we got about 15 minutes left. So I'm emulating the line up above that I used for his helmet, his sort of visor section. Let's see if I can dial into the same set of shapes, just further down on the design. And maybe this little detail will unify it a little bit and actually give me something to do with his little midsection, which needed some love, I think. Like as few lines as possible while still conveying a little bit of tone. Yeah, I think that was a good decision. I'm actually going to delete this. We'll figure that out later. There we go. Let's just clean that up a little bit. I'll add some more lines in a second. This is straight on, so that's kind of cool. It's a little more action figure in some way, which I think actually works to its benefit. But let me try one more thing real quick. Sideways is one leg perfectly in profile, one leg perfectly straight ahead. So I'm gonna see what I can do angle wise. It's a little bit it's fucking with my mental mind, but I think I'm onto something. Maybe just orb. Have you considered orb? Do you have a moment to talk about orb? Yeah, whatever I had before, I actually liked better. Let's go. Let's just delete it. The whole drawing. Fuck it. Get out of here. Visual time. I'm late. Lol. Hi. Hi. What's up, Alicorn Piggy? Good to see you. Robo abs. That's what's happening today. Yeah, I don't feel like listening to you right now. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Thank you. I'm down for that. I think I need more hips. How was your day so far? I'm gonna finish up pretty soon, but I've been enjoying myself quite a bit. Right? Doesn't everyone? I actually don't. My quota is perfectly met, if I'm being completely honest. Not my own, you see. Oh, okay, yeah. uh, yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. I hope today lets you down easy and you can rest and recuperate. He just got gams now. I'm gonna get that silhouette back from what I had before, but I'm gonna work abs into it, because god damn it, it's important. I like this a lot. I do like this version a lot. I think it's pretty clean. I kind of like the slight geometric pattern in the lower half, but it's not quite giving me what I want. Yeah, let's do that. Little teardrop shape that I'm using on his torso, his knees, and now his little jockstrap. Does kind of look like a jockstrap, I'm not gonna lie. Well, you gotta protect his goodies, assuming he has any. He has to protect the concept of his hypothetical goodies. Hypothetical goodies. It's a little imbalanced. Looks deeply inappropriate without that extra lines there. That's okay. I know he's a robot, so this sounds weird to say, but more meat. It's like a softer. Time to stand. Not yet. Watch. Okay. That's pretty solid. It's not as direct of a reference to the rest of the shapes in the helmet, but it still kind of echoes it with the sort of that same kind of swoop that happens on the visor. Yes. Nathan, do you mind if I go to your area of empires to kill skeletons, or too risky? Is it too risky with the ghasts? Um, so if you go to the area just outside my nether portal with the cobble deep slate and everything like that, there's a door that leads to the nether portal. Right as you take that left and go down that hallway, which I opened up a little bit to make it easier to transport magma slimes to Chump Free because he's a hungry little boy. But if you go straight down that basalt hallway where the nether portal is and then go out the door to the right just past the crafting station, that area has already been fucked up by ghasts constantly. So I'd recommend staying close to that building, but you're more than welcome to slap skeletons there if you so desire. I would be careful though, because the ghast will set you ablaze. Yes, and the flames will continue to burn infinitely. Yeah. If shit gets blown up there, I don't care. If For one thing, ghasts won't spawn in my actual proper bone area. Um, there are skeletons that show up on the edge of it. It's just like the path to get there is a little bit more treacherous. Oh yeah. Kenj has a skeleton spawner. That's probably way better for you, actually. Haha, bone area.
This right here, ha! This, ha!
Anyway, no, it's around the other side for Ek. Let's be honest. Come on. Come on. Nathan's bone zone. Blackvoot bone zone. I think this. We took a little while to get here, but I think this is looking pretty damn good. Might even, again, another iteration. Just really trying my fucking damnedest to put just enough detail. And thank you for the comment about lending it well to toy design. I'd like to think that part of it is that I try to make things animatable, which in turn makes it so that they would work pretty well for action figures and stuff like that. And that's actually what I was talking about before about character design helping you just upon looking at them, you start imagining how they would move. And that's kind of an inherent thing of like action figures and stuff like that, right? Kung Fu action grip! Oh, that doesn't belong there. Yeah, the cave is by my hovel on the lake. There's a little cave next to it on the lake level. The stairs into the water elevator is at Z480, I believe. Very cool. I don't need any help with skeleton generation, that's for sure. But I'm so glad that it exists for other folks that are less inundated with skeletons. Yeah, if I had a little curve here to sort of hug his little abs. See, that's actually kind of cute. And the thing about abs, too, is the fact that they work really fucking well at bending torsos. Nothing that works quite like them, in fact. So I think it's actually kind of reasonable. I mean, Sigma has abs in canon. Only parts of his design, I'm like, yeah, I could salvage that. That's pretty cool. Let's see what it looks like without the sketch layer. That's always the make or break. Okay. The last one here does not need that, though. Mo and I were talking about maybe doing an expedition tonight, but Restless was also invited. Um, so we're gonna wait until tomorrow or the next day. And I think our chances of summoning the Warden are incredibly high. So I'm probably going to farm for Totems of Undying before we go. Um, just due to the impulsive nature of some of the people who are coming along to the expedition. You know who you are, Restless. It's gonna be funny because it's like at the end, if you die, you die. That's you falling off of something and or eating the fruit at the wrong time and plummeting to your demise. That's something. But yeah, I would love to. I want to do the raid as like a community thing. Just distribute them. Um, we need to find a tower where pillagers spawn, which there's one near Moxie's house if she wouldn't, but it's a little like rough elevation wise, so we might find another one that's closer to yours or mine, um, or Kenja's or something. Um, how when you fought the flag pillagers, they used to make you all smelly and cursed and all that? Well, now they drop vials like at the trial chambers, bad omen vials. So you can choose when to slurp them and then evoke the curse, and you can summon raids whenever, or you can take them to a trial chamber and activate the blue trials to get the blue flames to get more shit. Oh, good, you have one already. Great. Pretty much, if an evoker spawns as part of the raid, you get a Totem of Undying. So if you have a couple of different, like if you have, it's just dependent on whether or not they spawn, and they almost always do. If it's like level 2 and up, I think. Anyway, it's super nice. It also removes the chance for you to say like, "Oh, I didn't do this on purpose." You know what I mean? The suspension of disbelief your way into thinking that like, "Oh no, I didn't cause this on purpose." Now you're just like, "Oh yeah, obviously, I'm gonna fuck up this village real quick for profit." You are not gonna have any trouble at all. All netherite, there's no way. Like, especially if we're doing it together. Oh, good. Oh, okay. It's 3 p.m. Hold on. Okay, got it. There he goes. Little robo abs. Well, like any art stream, and I'm not alone in this, I know, because I've been at a couple of other people's art streams recently, and it's the same shit. Most of the time I spent yakking, but hey, great to spend some time with some of my favorite people in chat. Um, Always a pleasure having you guys hanging out with me. Thanks for joining me. Those of you who don't know, just joining us, lurking. My name is Nathan Blackwood, aka Blackwood. I'm an artist, animator, musician, and gamer. Um, I am doing March of the Robots this month, which is a fun little Instagram event that is showcasing different robots. You can follow the prompts that they put up, and you can, you draw a robot a day is the plan. I'm already a little behind, and I'm not much more caught up considering how much jabbering I've been doing all stream, but I had a great time nonetheless, talking about Mega Man and Power Rangers and shit. But yeah, so it's all robots all the time this month. Friday is going to be pretty fun if I can figure it out. It will be the very first installment of FromSoft Friday. And as some of you may know, FromSoft, aside from making Elden Ring, also made a very popular game recently called Armored Core 6, sixth installment of a robot customization game. So I'm gonna be playing that theoretically this Friday. If not, it'll probably be a fuck it Friday, and I'll play more Minecraft. We'll see. But that's the plan. We shall see what happens. I'll probably, if I can't get online shit to work, yeah, FromSoft did AC. They did a lot of stuff. AC is one of them. It was kind of what they were known for. Oh, it's super hard at first. Once you figure out the base mechanics, it actually gets really easy. And there's a couple of really strong parts you can crutch on. But more on that on Friday, or if you just talk to me later. Yeah. No worries, Kenj. But yeah, so that's going to be fun. All robots all the time, all month. It's going to be great. FromSoft Friday, Mega Monday, Visual Wednesday, focusing on the March of Robots. Anyway, I will see you Friday. And if you're not already a member of the Discord, let me post that shit right here. Consider joining the Blecking crew, okay, my friends? Oh, Moxie beat me to it. I knew you would. I'm too slow. I'm Slowy Joey. It's a great spot with great people. We're supporting each other. Rising tide lifts all ships. Yeah, it's a fucking amazing community so far, and it's only getting better as we add more fun, cool people. Love it all tremendously. We got movie nights on Sundays. We got Vibe of the Week, art prompts. It's great. Join it if you're interested. There's a link in the freaking chat right there. Oh yeah, before I go, Moxie posted the link to support on Ko-fi and Patreon. Ko-fi is especially important because both donations and commissions count towards the little goal that we have up here, which is to get a new pair of studio headphones. I cannot make music to the best of my abilities without a new good pair of headphones. So Music Mondays will not be continuing until I have reached this goal. So if you check out Ko-fi, you'll see my commission prices. If you just donate, if you're just like, nah, this is for you, buddy, take my money, that's a great place to throw it. And it will help me get one step closer to bringing back the very chill vibes of Music Monday. We're 30% of the way there. Can't do it without you. Would love a little boost. But yeah, that's about it. I love y'all. See you next time. FromSoft Friday. Peace and love. Until that time. Bye.